when we were at the height in the last firm we were owners of, we had to bring in 900 cases a month to pay our bills. Welcome back to Under Oath. You and I have been giving advice to tens of thousands of people over a quarter of a century. And I've got to be concerned with how I give that advice now. I got to be concerned that one person might not like what I have to say. It's tiring because you get caught up between our typical discussions, how things are done, and issues like this. And you and I, we know we can't discuss our political issues because the world is a crap storm when it comes to this. And there'll be people out there who'll go, oh, we're not going to hire them because I didn't like his opinion on the California phone issue.
If you're making your decision on what law firm to hire based on the individual opinion of one of the lawyers, you are making a huge, huge mistake.
There's an attorney who superimposed his head on a dude sunbathing. People are making decisions on that.
Well, I can understand that personally. Yeah, I can see where having an attractive physique would be appealing to the typical consumer of legal products.
Here's the issue. We have a show. Why do we have a show? Because we don't want to do 500 commercials every hour saying, hey,
Listen
like
to us. Listen
hey,
to us.
Hire us. Hey,
We're the
we'll get you
greatest.
paid. Hey, all this other stuff. We're the best. We're the largest. We're this. We're that. We're this. You and I sat in a courtroom 28 years ago watching attorneys just do terrible things for their clients.
Oh, just sell them down the river, man.
And we said, you know what? We could be better than this.
We're better than this right now.
Remember at the time,
Yeah.
we could be better than this.
No,
and we said,
we were better
how
than
can
the
we
guys-
not crush these guys?
Jeff's talking about, we saw attorneys 15, 20 years experience coming in handling DUIs and motions to suppress and things like that. All technical crap that you don't need to worry about if you're not an attorney. But it's stuff that's very important if you are a lawyer. And we see them doing these technical things and they're screwing it up.
Sometimes they didn't even show up.
If they showed up, they were screwing it up.
We had to fill in for them.
We had to cover because we felt bad for their clients.
We were public defenders working for the government, and these private attorneys who were getting paid thousands of dollars
and got their clients better deals.
And we thought we could be better. And in 28 years, we learned one thing. You don't get the opportunity to be better unless people hire you. And we became focused on how to get business in the door. And when you focus solely on that, you lose your focus on how to do a good job for your clients. You're suddenly hiring 80, 90 lawyers, and you're spending your whole time bringing lawyers in who you would never have them represent you.
Absolutely.
But you needed people to handle it because you had so many cases. And that's what happens when you have these mega firms. And we were a mega firm.
I remember.
And I remember having to explain to a client or the bar why this person was upset with their attorney. And I said, listen, I can't control every attorney and how they practice law. And they said, well, you're in charge. You need to. And I said, well, this is a problem. If I'm 5 times better than the attorney I'm handling the case to.
Why am I not handling the case?
Because you're, and I'll say this, when you're worried about making hundreds of millions, you can't pay attention to the clients that are in your door.
Your focus isn't on quality. Your focus is on quantity. It has to be.
You need somebody to handle the case. And, there's
I heard
only
an
so many
advertisement one time where on the commercial, the attorney said, that attorney might need the money more than you. And I had to laugh because you might want to tell the public what your advertising budget is every month and how many cases you need to get just to pay for these commercials.
When we were at the height in the last firm we were owners of, we had to bring in 900 cases a month to pay our bills. And I remember one month we did a couple $1 million in revenue. And I was excited about that. I was really happy about it. And I said to the accountant, well, what are we making? They go, nothing. I go, but we made this huge amount of money. They go, well, you have all these expenses. Your ad bill is $1 million. Your labor is $1 million. So all I can do is kill myself to bring cases in the door 24/7 to be able to feed this machine. And there's no way you can monitor, no matter what software you have, no matter what managers you have. We had one attorney who just decided he didn't want to go to court one day.
I remember.
And I remember telling at the bar, I reminded him 9 times. His system reminded me, it's paralegal. And they said, Jeff, you're still responsible. And that's one of the reasons I walked out the door. And I said, no, I got to start this over again. This system doesn't allow me to like who I am. And for the last 9 years, we've kept our business to a certain size to make sure that the quality of our representation. You and I are trying cases.
We touch in a substantial way every case that comes in our door.
You and I spent 5 days in Tennessee battling for a case, not a billboard, but a case and a person.
In front of the judge from My Cousin Vinny, if you've ever seen that movie, that was our judge. He didn't look like him, but close your eyes when you watch that movie, and you can realize the experience Jeff and I had in Tennessee.
But I mean, you don't get that opportunity when you're just the face of the firm. You don't get that because you're too busy trying to feed the machine.
You don't have time.
So I'm sitting here with this show and I'm going, okay, what can I give to people where I can just be decent and I can give them information that they might be able to use later? Somebody said to me the other day, they were listening to, the station gives us commercials now. I never wanted commercials. I just wanted to be on shows. I said, get me out in front of people and they get to know who you are. And I'm who I am. I don't change. I'm this guy. I'm always this guy. I've always been the guy who tilt windmills, Don Quixote. I fight the fight that a lot of people won't fight. We take trials that people won't, and we pride ourselves on that. And now you're like, oh no, your commercials have to sell. Your commercials, we got to give you commercials now. And my last commercial I did was based on, I have pride in what I do. And somebody came to me, they're going, I kind of like that, Jeff. And I'm going, well, yeah, me too. I don't like, because of other people in this industry, they hate everybody in the industry. The commercials out there, I'm the best. This is what I can get you. Everything else like that. They hate all of us. And I'm like, do me a favor. Don't lump me in this category. It's like bad cops. Every cop is not the George Floyd cops. Okay. Some cops got in there because they came from bad neighborhoods. They wanted to improve the world. And you and
But we get lumped in with all the ambulance chasers and everybody else.
I had a case the other day. I had a guy who listened to me on the radio. And I saw him at a club we were sponsoring. And he came up to me and he goes, I got in an accident last week. I've been listening to you years, but I went with another firm. And I go, well, okay. Did you know him? No. The police officer at the scene told me I should go with him.
Highly illegal, highly unethical.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow.
So that's the kind of thing you have to do when you have to feed a giant advertising machine every single month. We would have to do that. Just think, if we had to have 500 new clients a month, what you would have to do to bring that amount of people in.
The tough question.
Just to pay for the advertising.
The question I get asked all the time is the same, and it goes like this. You do all this other stuff. When do you have time to practice law? I said, you and I put in about 5 more hours a day than the average attorney because we chose this path, and it's a path of sweat equity. It's a choice of putting yourself out there. I can't tell you how many weekends. Somebody asked me the other day, what was your weekend? I go, well, I had this event. I did this. I took an MBA class. They go, what attorney at our age are taking classes? None.
If you like what you're doing never feels like work. That's what a lot of people don't understand because they hate their jobs. So the people who are saying that to you, when do you have time? Those are probably the same people who can't stand their job, can't wait for it to be over, can't wait for the weekend to come, can't wait for the vacations to come because they really don't like being there.
We get such a great opportunity. The people in our office, when I always make sure to never take credit for the work that gets done in this office, because a lot of you don't know, a lot of this work is paralegal driven. A lot of people who are secretaries and paralegals, they kill themselves over these cases, and the attorney at the end gets to hop in and go, look what I did. Nothing gets done without everyone from the receptionist to the assistants, to the paralegals, to everything else. And the attorneys at the end get to take credit.
We take great pride in bringing people in and celebrating with them their cases. The paralegals assigned to it, the secretaries, the admin staff that worked on the cases. When a case settles, it's everybody's gift and everybody's accomplishment, not just the attorney.
Well, I think we ran out of time with me
Patting ourselves on the back.
bitching and moaning. I don't say it's a pat on the back. You get frustrated. I had an issue today that was frustrating to me because I was sitting here and I was talking to a client who we got a ridiculous amount of money for. And then he said his wife was with another law firm and she took her case to the firm and they hadn't settled the case yet. And we settled for policy limits. And I'm going, what is this other firm doing? And then it hit me. I know what they're doing. They're feeding the machine.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention to it.